Hi, I'm here with Alex from Big, who just beat SK here in Krakow to go to the playoffs of their first ever major. Insane game. How do you feel?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing journey. It's in my opinion way harder to beat like all these tier 3, tier 2 teams to be here. We played so many matches you cannot imagine, and it's a relief for all the players that the hard work paid off.
Yeah. As I said, in an insane game. Can you walk us through it? You were down a bit, and then like Colsera had that crazy ace and stuff. Like, how do you come back from something like that?
I mean, we're kind of famous for the kind of comebacks. We can keep our cool. Gobi is an insane in-game leader and team captain, and our players just focus. I mean, they went into the lead, but we kind of knew where they're standing. I mean, we already knew like where Corsair was standing, Taco. So we actually prepared Inferno a lot. But in the end, he's just an amazing player. I mean, it's so hard to win against these kind of players because he can make, for example, that ace. And we kind of got into that struggle. We couldn't find the right call to kind of like break their defense. But we knew that as CT we can come back because we watched the game against Penta and they also did good as CT. So we kind of knew that CT will be key, and we kind of brought it back.
Yeah, the team has been together for half a year or so. How did you prepare for this event? It's the biggest you've ever been to.
I mean, we kind of had to go step by step. That means we're not like a tier 1 team that can just like. I mean, of course they travel a lot. I agree, but they can prepare for the events a lot better. We had to actually prepare for the minor, then prepare for the offline qualifier, then prepare for new teams. So we live in a house together, so that makes it a little bit easier. And just after we came back for the major qualifier, it was 1 week before the major itself, we just put in Inferno in our map pool because it wasn't that good before, and it paid off. We played 3 times Inferno and we won 3 times Inferno. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking statistically, this was a total team effort. Like, no one stood out in the stats. What do you think about this? Is it team play or is it just strats, or how come you're so...
No, it's 100% team play. I mean, we started this team as an actual team, as an actual friend, even family, and this is what we want to like kind of finish. We will not rely on any star performance. We will always rely on our team, and that's, I think, our biggest strength. But we also knew that Nex needs to bloom at some point, and we always knew that Nex is going to bloom. And I think everybody saw now that Nex can be one of the best players in the world, and not only Tapson can shoot for us, and even Legia. I mean, everybody was questioning a lot of Legia's plays, but he's a really good teammate, he's a really good friend, and he also showed that he can play really good CS.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the crouch jump. You weren't, or well, you agreed not to do it anymore. How do you? What do you think about the whole situation with the teams coming to you and saying we don't want you to do it anymore?
Well, I mean, first of all, they didn't come to us and say anything. That was, I think, a big mistake of them. We are a team that get along with everybody, because the moment they invited us to the conversation, didn't do it behind our backs, we instantly agreed. I mean, we knew that the bug itself is game breaking, but we also described that hour after game against Immortals in the qualifier that actually teams outplayed us. I mean, even German teams that we play in the German EPS outplayed that position even though they didn't see us. So if they watch one demo, you can actually have... you can actually outplay that position. And fun part is that SK, when we practiced against them, also outplayed that position, because they have a really good understanding on how the game works. And even if they didn't see where they are, in the end they knew what was position was, so they kind of try to counter that. So props to them also in the pracs. Now the teams complain about it. We agree that it's game breaking, but they could also use it. But the problem was that they didn't know how it was. That means that we put more time in the game and we wanted to reward ourselves with that. But we agreed, we didn't use it that much. Unfortunately, you cannot not do it, because everybody knows the silent jump. It's just that you can silent jump, but you can also silent jump without getting seen, and that's what people didn't know. That means that even they made a gentleman agreement, they still did it because it was in their play, but they didn't know it was that. That means that they just couldn't describe what it was, but they still did it. But in the end, everything worked fine. Everybody kind of made not an excuse. They apologized, and we respected teams a lot for that. And yeah, that's basically everything.
Yeah, and you could tell you could play without it, since you just beat one of the best teams in the world here at the major.
Correct.
So What do you feel about the Swiss system that's here? Do you gain from playing Swiss instead of playing like BO3 against these teams?
Of course, I mean everybody knows it's an underdog story, but I have to also agree that if you think about it a little bit further, it's basically a best of 5, right? So they would be, because you play in the end a best of 5. You can lose 2, you win 3, you're through. So that's not the best of 1 if you think about it correctly.
But against different teams. Right?
About different teams, of course. But that's the thing. Of course, underdogs are a little bit favored. I agree. But if everybody prepares as the same as the tier 2 teams, it shouldn't be a problem.
You're going into the arena now, Friday. How do you feel about that? Do you think there'll be any pressure on you guys playing in front of a big crowd?
Of course, I think every team feels pressure. Of course, some handle it better than the others, but we have players that been in that kind of spot before. I mean, Gobby played in front, like 1.6, he played in front of incredible crowds. Nex is also played a lot. The others, we will see how they handle it.
Yeah. Well. What team would you rather not face in the quarterfinals? What team would you face? Any
also can't say. Okay. I mean, in my opinion, right now, every team that has a spot deserves a spot. That means every team is equally strong, and every game will be hard.
Can you give us a top 4 of semifinalist teams?
Who will make it? I mean, now that the 2-3 games are on, I would say Australis, SK. Now that FaZe is out, because I thought they were favorites, maybe us, I don't know. But I think Navi is a strong team as well. They can make it, and I think the Black Horses Immortals here, because they played very, very well. If you watch a game, many analysts doubted their choice of Overpass, but they proved that the analysts were wrong, and I think Immortals can also be a top 4 team.
Well, thank you for the interview, and good luck in the rest of the tournament. Anything else you'd like to add?
Just shout out to Big. Everybody in the organization is really close to us. It's really insane, our journey. I love my mates, I love my family, everybody out there, my friends, and thank you.